Okay, so here's a question on fractions. You've got dividing fractions. There's quite a lot going on here, and then you're simplifying it here. This actually practices a lot of skills, and hopefully you'll learn bits and pieces, some tips maybe on how to tackle these sorts of questions. You can obviously pause it and have a go. I'm now going to go through it. This is actually from the June 2019 paper, second paper 2H. So this is from an actual GCSE. Okay, so first thing we're going to deal with is the bit in here. Okay, and you could do this in any order, but I'm just going to ignore the 6 for now. I'll do that after. So when you're dividing a fraction, you have to use the same as dividing any fraction, whether it's algebra or not. You're going to keep this one. I'm going to turn it into a fraction. Anything over, if it's not got anything, turn it into a fraction over 1. Keep it, change the sign, and then flip over the other one. I'm going to put these in brackets because we're going to be timesing, and sometimes that's what we need to do. Okay, and then you've got x squared plus 3x minus 10 now. Before I do anything else, this one down the bottom here, check that they can be factorised. So if I look at here, I think, is there two numbers which multiply to get minus 10 and add to get positive 3? And if you list all the numbers that go to 10, so minus 10 and 1, that doesn't add to get minus 3 in any way, or obviously, and positive 10 minus 1. And then you've got minus 5, positive 2, and positive 5, negative 2. And let's see all the factors of 10 done. If you look at this, 5 minus 2 is 3, so we can factorise this bottom one. So my next step, you can just jump straight to do that. I didn't, just purely because I wanted to show you that you might do that and then think about factorising. So if I factorise, I've got 5 and minus 2, so then we'll end up with a quadratic here, x plus 5 and x minus 2. Now, a rule that you can remember is that you've got, if you're timesing fractions, you can cancel, cross cancel, so this one and this one can cancel. Now the reason is you're actually going to be timesing this, the x plus 5 by x plus 1, so you end up with x plus 5 and then x times minus 1 all over, and then 1 times all of this obviously stays the same, so you end up with x plus 5 times x minus 2, and now they're kind of one after the other, on top of each other, they cancel. So you're actually left with x minus 1 over x minus 2. Okay, so the pen colour has changed. Okay, now's our next step. Okay, there's 4 marks available, there's quite a few things to do. So that's this part here, which is dealt with quite a lot. But now we need to add 6 to it. So if I add 6 plus x, no, you can't just add normally like that. Remember, when you're adding fractions, you need to have the denominator the same. So that actually is going to be the same as just turned my 6 into a fraction. And now for time, I want both the denominators to be this x minus 2. So to do that, I need to literally times this whole fraction by x minus 2, and that would give me that. So that would give me, if I did that, I'd end up with x minus 2 on top times 6, and then x minus 2. The reason we do that is lots of things, you know, when you rationalise the denominator and lots of things, this happens. You're timesing the whole fraction by the number 1 because it's the same thing over each other. And we basically do that so we can then add them, in this case, over x minus 2. Now they're the same. You've got 6x, so I'm just multiplying it out as well at the same time. And then you're adding that to x and then adding it to 1, just adding the top and then the bottom stays the same. Scroll down and we can simplify that top section. So 6x plus x gives us 7x minus 12 plus 1. Sorry, I've just realised I've made a mistake there, didn't I? Let me minus 1. Sorry about that. And then so minus 12 minus 1 is minus 13. And if you divide that by x minus 2. Now looking at that, do you think, well, can I do anything else? No, you can't. There's nothing here that factorises, and this won't factorise. So that is actually your answer. If you look what they want you to get to, ax minus b and cx minus d is in that format. So you can, and it says where a, b, c and d are integers, and they are. So this a would equal, you don't need to do this, but I'm just showing you, b would equal minus 13. C would equal 1, D would equal minus 2. It's actually, they've given you the minus, haven't they? So you don't need the minuses there. But essentially you don't need to do that, but that's just, it's just in the same format. And they are whole numbers. And that is it. So there's quite a few things to take from this one, I think. Multiplying fractions, cross cancelling, you can do that. Also, then moving further down, you've got adding fractions, ensuring the denominator is the same, and then finally simplifying. Okay, any questions, please feel free to comment down below.